After installing the GroupMail software, we need to create our GroupMail sender account. You can do this by going to Accounts and clicking on the New Account. This gives you a number of options. You've got Auto Account Setup, which will automatically detect your mail server settings based on your email and password, Manual Account Setup, SMTP to go if you've got an SMTP to go account, but today we'll walk through the Manual Account Setup. Enter a descriptive name for the account, something that you will recognize the account by. Then the important information. Under the User Information tab, the name field is your from name. This is what the recipients will see when they receive your message. You can enter an organization field if you wish. It's an optional field. And then the email address is your from email address that the recipients will also see when they receive your message. If you want replies to go to a different email address, enter it here. Otherwise, all replies will go to the from email address. Then under the Delivery Options tab, here we can select the delivery option we want to send through. There's Standard, which sends through an SMTP mail server. Direct, which allows you to bypass the SMTP mail server. And the only requirement for this to work is to ensure that your ISP doesn't block port 25 in any way. We also have Outlook and Pickup delivery options here, and we'll come back to those later. With the standard delivery option, we need to enter the SMTP mail server that we want to send the messages through. If you're unsure of these details, you can check with your mail server provider and they'll be happy to supply you with them. Most mail servers will require authentication, so you can click on the Require Authentication button and then press Setup to enter your authentication details. We'll go with the default authentication details here, entering the username and password. The username is normally your email address, and then of course the password is the password associated with that email account. Again, your mail server provider can confirm these details for you. Under the Advanced button, we can enter the SMTP port number that the mail server uses. The default is port 25, however you can change this to whatever port the SMTP mail server you're sending through uses. You can also enable an SSL connection if it's required. Click on OK to save. And then just to point out that GroupMail Personal Edition users can send up to 3 simultaneous connections, while GroupMail Business Edition users can send up to 256 simultaneous connections. The more connections you send through, the faster your messages will send. You can also add some message throttling to ensure that you stay within your mail server limits, and you can set a pause time between connections. Now let's test this account to make sure it works. Okay, we've got test message delivered successfully, so we now know the details we've entered are correct. We can click on OK to save, and that's our GroupMail sender account created.